Hey, it's great to have you here for this episode. Today, we're diving into a really gripping story called Thunderchild by Charles Dada. It's a tragic romance set along the Suffolk coast and the Norfolk Broads, full of mystery, intrigue, and a bit of revenge.
Yeah, it's quite a ride. The story moves fast, but it's packed with emotion and some pretty dark moments. At its heart, it's about Daniel and Rebecca, two people caught up in love, faith, and some serious oppression.
Exactly. And the setting is almost a character itself. Those English coastal waterways, the Broads, and the small towns like Southwold and Thorpeness. It really grounds the story in a very specific, atmospheric place.
Right, and that setting really shapes their lives. So maybe we should start with Daniel, the guy building a concrete boat. That's not something you hear about every day.
No, it's definitely unusual. Daniel's boat, named Thunderchild, is made from concrete, which might sound odd, but it's actually a real technique. Concrete can be used for boat hulls if it's cured properly, like the Romans did with their underwater concrete.
That's fascinating. So Daniel's boat is rough around the edges, but it's seaworthy. It's kind of a symbol of his resilience and ingenuity, don't you think?
Absolutely. The boat is his home and refuge. He's living on it with his young son Benjamin, struggling financially and socially. And he's on the run from the police, the river authorities, and his would-be ex-father-in-law, Pastor Green.
Yeah, that adds a lot of tension. The boat is filled with junk, but there's this small, pristine shrine to Rebecca, his late fiancée. It's a touching detail that shows how much he's holding on to her memory.
It really humanizes him. And speaking of Rebecca, she's a young woman from Southwold, caught in a very strict Jehovah's Witness family. Her father, Pastor Green, is a controlling figure, and she's promised to marry Reverend Blackley, who turns out to be a pretty sinister character.
Jehovah's Witnesses are known for their strict rules and strong community control, so Rebecca's caught between her love for Daniel and her loyalty to her family and faith. That tension drives a lot of the story.
It does, and their romance is beautifully described. Their first meeting, the growing affection, and then that stormy night when they make love for the first time. The thunder, lightning, and rain mirror their passion and the turmoil around them.
That storm is such a powerful metaphor. It's like their love is both electric and dangerous, and it leads to Rebecca's pregnancy, which complicates everything.
And then there's Reverend Blackley, the villain of the piece. He's a predatory figure within the church, abusing his power and controlling young girls like Ruth Willis. Rebecca witnesses his depravity and tries to expose him, but he uses his influence to intimidate her and Daniel.
That adds a really dark layer to the story. It's not just about love and faith, but also about abuse hidden behind religious authority.
Exactly. And then we get to the fire at the Watchtower, that 5-story building in Thorpeness where Pastor Green and his family live. Daniel tries to rescue Rebecca and Benjamin, but the fire breaks out accidentally, started by Daniel himself.
It's tragic. Rebecca's mother, Mary, dies in the fire, and Rebecca and Pastor Green are badly injured. The fire symbolizes destruction, but also the breaking point of the oppressive family and church control.
Daniel escapes with Benjamin, but believes Rebecca may have died. That sets him on a desperate journey, fleeing with his son and living on the Broads, that network of rivers and lakes in Norfolk.
The Broads are such a unique landscape, peaceful, but also isolating. Daniel navigates the waterways on his concrete boat, trying to stay hidden while struggling to care for Benjamin.
And that's where Jack and Sally come in, a kind couple who sail the Broads and rescue Daniel and Benjamin from a fire on the boat. They offer practical help and kindness, representing the outside world's compassion.
Their involvement is crucial. Daniel is no longer alone, and they become allies in his struggle against Pastor Green and Blackley.
Then we get to the final confrontation. Pastor Green tracks Daniel down, trying to reclaim Benjamin. Rebecca, scarred and reclusive after the fire, lives with her father in Southwold.
The confrontation at Rebecca's cottage is intense. It ends with Blackley's death after falling from a cliff, and Rebecca and Daniel reunite with Benjamin. But the scars, both physical and emotional, remain.
Pastor Green is left broken, having lost his family and faith. The story ends on a bittersweet note, with a tentative hope for the future.
It's a powerful exploration of love against the odds, religious oppression, and the struggle for freedom. The concrete boat really stands out as a symbol of resilience and creativity.
And the Broads and coastal setting provide a vivid backdrop, both a place of escape and entrapment.
I also appreciated how the story balances tragedy with hope, showing human endurance and the power of compassion.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the Broads themselves are a unique English landscape of rivers and lakes, which really shape the atmosphere of the story.
When we talk about Jehovah's Witnesses here, it's important to stay factual and neutral. The story portrays strict religious control, but that's part of the narrative, not a judgment.
The storm and fire work beautifully as metaphors for the emotional and social turmoil the characters face.
And the contrast between Daniel's free-spirited life on the boat and Rebecca's constrained upbringing is really striking.
Jack and Sally's kindness reminds us that even in dark times, compassion can make a difference.
So to wrap up, Thunderchild is a deeply human story, flawed, emotional, and compelling. It's about love, faith, oppression, and survival, set against a richly detailed English coastal backdrop.
Yeah, it's a story that stays with you. The characters, the setting, the themes all come together in a way that's both heartbreaking and hopeful.
Thanks for joining me to unpack this one. It's been a fascinating journey through Daniel and Rebecca's world.
Absolutely. I hope listeners found it as engaging as we did. Until next time.